This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com. Hey everybody, it's your old pal Rob. Today we're going to be talking about a game. You know, lately I haven't been too friendly to games. And this is yet another one. I picked up the retail version of Heroes of Might and Magic. It's just the base core game. I got it from Miniature Market, and I decided to bring it in because I'm a big fan of Heroes of Might and Magic. And, you know, sometimes these video game things can, that get converted to board games can be pretty good. Doom, Gears of War. And it kind of stops right there. Again, I'm not going to go down and explain a lot of things. If you're looking for a rules overview or anything like that, that's not in this video. I'm going to show you some of the components. I'm going to show you some of the theory behind it. I'll show you some of the books, the quality of stuff, and then we'll talk more on the other side of what I feel. This is more about how I feel about this and why. So let's go down to the table. We'll check it out. Very brief overview. And then just to kind of go over this, I just grabbed a bunch of tiles a bit. They're not in any particular order. But I'll be showing you the rule book, the mission book, and the tournament book, and you'll understand things a little bit better. You're going to be playing a character, okay? And depending on where they are in the level, that's how many cards you're going to have in your hand, which is going to help you in combat and other things. You'll have certain stats, what you are, what you do, and on the other side, there are more players that you can have. There's 6 players in total. When you flip over one of these, okay, probably the wrong one to flip over, since that is the evil thing. Well, let's just say we're over here, okay, and you are going to have 3 movement points. There's actually some tokens to help you determine your movement on these boards, and the art is absolutely beautiful because it looks exactly like the video game. Very well done. You can land on certain areas, and once you land on those areas, they just become bare land. You're going to put a little token on there. You can go into certain buildings, tombs, and other things. You are always trying to get and conquer your opponent's castle, or depending if you were playing solo, there are different types of all kinds of objectives that you can have. As you can see, there's different things that you can do. You're going to deal with things, and in some of these you're going to run into combat, and depending on where your level is, you would just automatically win the combat. Or what would happen is you are going to come over to the mighty board here, as I'm going to show you, and you would lay out your units. Your opponent would lay out units here, you would lay out units there, and then you would basically battle it out. Everything is pretty much determined. You can add to certain things, you can roll for certain things to hopefully add to your attack value, but you would take your attack value, compare it against the person's defense, and whatever number you have left would go into how much health they have, and if you beat them, you will defeat them and be able to take them off the board. Of course, you can hire more in different types of mercenaries, just like the video game. It feels very much like that. Everything is timed. You'll be timed as you go through, and of course you will have your castle where in this case you will build certain things, and it shows you the cost of what it would cost to put in the Mage Guild and so forth, the Citadel, which will give you certain benefits and so forth and so on throughout your adventures. You'll be collecting gold, stone, crystals to help purchase all this stuff, pretty much just like the video game itself. The components are absolutely beautiful. The player aid is very, very, very well done. and does it just fantastically. The rule book is actually very, very clean on a positive, on a very positive note here. You have your attack dice, your resource dice, and your treasure dice. That when you come up to things that you'll roll, you're going to have building tokens, you'll have spells and things in your cards. Like I said, you depending on your level, you'll have a certain amount of cards that are going to help you teleport. There'll be a disrupting ray, different types of spells that you can use. There could be attack cards, ability cards that are going to help you along the way in this. It shows you your basic setup, which again, the game feels very much like Heroes of Might and Magic 3, and as you can see, there's a bit to set up and prepare. Okay, when you could just possibly turn on your computer, but that's me. Again, speaking highly of the book, if you don't play video games, this is a very interesting game. But if this is a game that you played, well, you're going to have mixed feelings about it, in my opinion. It's going to break down all those little areas that I showed you on the tiles here. It'll tell what they do, how they do things, what you can do with them, what all the symbols mean: resources, treasure symbols, artifact symbols, grail symbols. Very well put together. Mines and things like that you're going to run into, how you're going to do combat, which we kind of went over a little bit very briefly. This game also plays solo. You could play competitively against each other or co-op. There's a tournament book, but you can only do the campaign solo. So that's kind of interesting. Tournaments, you can, it shows you how you build your maps and all the optional rules that'll come in, and the different scenarios, and which is this is your clash mode. Okay, it's going to spell everything out, what tiles you're going to need for all your different missions in the mission book, which is pretty interesting when you really think about it. Okay, and how this all goes together. You could play a 3-player scenario, 2-player scenario. There are the campaign, which I said is basically solo. So that's how that'll spell everything out, and how you'll play things through, and you'll go through a campaign solo. So there is a great solo aspect to it. So and then on the back here, all your trade tables, your level tables, the things that you were going to set things, if you want to play the game easy, normal, hard, or impossible. I would tend to play impossible and just lose horribly. So a quick overview. I have a lot more to say up top about Heroes of Might and Magic 3, the board game. The components are beautiful. The miniatures are really nice, and if you want to paint them up, you can have a great time. The gameplay is a little tedious. Like I said, the boards and everything, the art, it feels a lot like a Mage Knight, a poor man's Mage Knight in a way. It does a little bit more things. I just don't think it does it better than Mage Knight. It feels like Heroes of Might and Magic. There's a reason that it's on there. Now, I don't know what the other expansions bring. I've seen people with boxes like this big with like 17 boxes in there. Does it bring more? No, I can't tell you. I can only tell you what the retail board game brings me. And it brings me Heroes of Might and Magic 3. It really does. And that's where my problem kind of lies. If I want to play Heroes of Might and Magic, I'll go to my computer and play it. and I'll have a better time at it. No tedious going through cards, setting things up, all the other stuff. All I do is just turn on my computer or my emulator, and boom, I'm off and running. I'm playing Heroes of Might and Magic. Sometimes, with Doom and Gears of War, they gave you something that was totally different. It wasn't playing the exact game, okay? They gave you something different. They took the characters and put them in a different type of scenario, and it was different. This kind of feels just like it, and it feels like they took a real lot from Mage Knight. And I went, okay, the battling, is just like, King's Bounty, Heroes, Might and Magic. You put your units on the board like I showed you, and then you fight it out. And for me, it just made me think. I go, this is just... Why would I play this when I can just turn on my computer? Now, for board game purists or people that do not play video games, this is a pretty good game to play. It feels just like the game. But for somebody like myself who delves in many different hobbies and enjoys many different things, I love Heroes of Might and Magic. I play it quite a bit. I've played King's Bounty all the way through, and I've spent a lot of time playing this. For me, it doesn't make sense as a board game. It just doesn't work as a board game. It feels too Mage Knight-ish, which, take a look at Mage Knight. What was Mage Knight? It was a miniature game, and then they devised this whole system around it. Totally different from taking a video game and just doing the same thing. And I felt the same thing with Slay the Spire. It just makes me wonder, is it, which is better to play? Are you just capitalizing on the name? And somehow I kind of feel that's what happened here. So, I would love to hear your comments, of course. And until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon, everybody.